Hi, Curt. Howard Mandel, High Post Hoops. Alyssa Thomas, another double-double, setting the tone early and able to operate your offense off of defensive rebounds. And just how significant is her ability to do that in your team's chance to take it to them from a pace perspective?
Yeah, again, this series has two of the best facilitating forwards in the league with Candace Parker and Alyssa Thomas. It allows us to play downhill, not only in transition, but in the half court, you have another person that can get the ball into the paint and be able to distribute and put pressure on the defense. Are they going to collapse? Then we can stretch it with some shooters. If they're going to stay spread out, then she can maneuver. There's so many different ways to get the ball to the paint, and Alyssa Thomas gives us a weapon to give the ball to the paint where we don't necessarily play through a Brittany Griner or a Sylvia Fowles with a back to the basket. We've got to find and be creative on different ways to get the ball in the paint, and Alyssa Thomas is one of the elite forwards in the league that can do that.
Jim Clark, Women's Hoops World. You almost doubled them up on the boards and had, at one point you had almost as many offensive boards as they had defensive boards. How did that happen?
Yeah, if I made an opening statement, it would be, I'm so proud of the energy and effort. We weren't perfect at the offensive end. We missed 28 shots in the first half. I don't know if 56 misses in a playoff game would be a record if that would have continued, but we got so many second chance opportunities that we had a lead when it didn't feel like a great first half offensively, and it was all because of rebounding. And that continued as we shored up some things and we strung together some consecutive stops and got our running game going. The rebounding is what stands out on the stat sheet tonight. It really carried us when we were struggling offensively in that first half.
Hey, Curt, you said before the game that you were worried about what LA would do differently, but you guys countered that. Like, you came out and did a lot of things yourselves. Like, what did you guys do better today?
I thought, to LA's credit, I thought they came out and were really physical. I thought they threw the first punch. And I'm not sure we were ready for the physicality. We were bumped off some cuts. They drove it and were really physical in that first quarter right at us, put us on our heels. I thought finally the game settled in. We got a chance to relax and realized that we had to match that physicality. We had to match the aggressiveness that they came out with. And when we started to do that, the game settled in, and we were able to do that, and we kept our turnovers in control. And we were only 2 for 16 in the first half. I thought we were a little bit rushed by their physicality, by how hard they were playing. And I didn't love all the threes. I didn't mind some of them, but I didn't love all the threes. But I just felt like as the game went on, we handled the physicality better. We started to move them so their physicality wasn't as effective as the game went on. And then I thought our players just played with a lot of energy in that second half as everyone was starting to lose their legs. I thought we were just better when we played through the fatigue than they were tonight.
Curt, the defense of JT and AT individually on their players. I mean, Chelsea Gray ended up with 10, but that's 14 points in 2 games. And AT held Candace Parker to 3. Talk about how skillful that is.
Yeah, obviously a lot of shots were taken by the guards in the first half. They tried to get Raquana and Chelsea going. It did not. We were worried, and we tweaked things throughout the game in timeouts, halftime, just to try to give them different looks, to try to make Chelsea or Raquana as uncomfortable as possible. We had no answer for Nneka. She was 6 for 6. She was really, really good in stretches, but we did a good job on Candace tonight. And as the game settled in again, we were in a ton of plays and just made it as difficult as possible for Chelsea. But she could turn around and go for 30 out in LA. She's that good. We have that respect for her. So it's going to be a battle this whole series.
You had Rachel and Bria in to start the second quarter, and a really pivotal point when if LA had, tried to run away with it more, then it could have gotten out of hand. But they were able to make some really good plays to kind of help you guys close up this gap and then eventually take the lead. What did you see from them, especially Bria too, hitting that key three? I think it was early in the fourth quarter that really kind of put you guys over the edge.
Yeah, that locker room is really proud of Bria Holmes tonight. She has been absolutely sicker than a dog for the 24 hours. And for her to even play tonight was impressive for us. But she really gave us a spark. She stayed in more plays defensively. I thought she played smart defensively, but then she gives us an attacker. It's a different type of look when Strickland goes out and Bria comes in. And then I didn't call Rachel's number the other night, but she's the ultimate true professional. One of the most fun players for me to coach on our roster. She's just always ready. She's really smart, X's and O's wise, and she can space the floor. So those guys needed to give us minutes so we could get Courtney and Strick a little bit of break so they could keep their legs, because we knew how important shooting was going to be. We shot much better in the second half, maybe 8 for 14 from the arc in the second half after a 2 for 16 start. So in 2 games, in 3 days, to keep legs to shoot 8 for 14 in the second half is a credit to those shooters.
Curt, with Alyssa Thomas playing hurt the way she has all year, I just wonder what the impact you think that is to have arguably your most physical player playing and having your team know that she's playing through that level of injury.
Yeah, she doesn't have great shoulders, but she is a warrior. You know what you're going to get when the ball goes up with Alyssa Thomas. There's no one that plays harder. And she's a leader that way. She gives us a physical presence. She gives us kind of the bully on the block, right? Like she is our enforcer. And we really need that. She sets the tone with that aggressiveness because, frankly, we need that. We need that, and we feed off of that from her. And right now, you can see a determination from her by example to the rest of the team that they're going to lay it all on the line. And there's some nights that we're not going to be good enough. But right now, they're going to lay it on the line and make someone beat us. They're not going to give an inch to anyone right now.
2 more questions.
Hey, Curt, can you talk about that third quarter? I mean, you talk about rebounding defense. I mean, the third quarter offensively, Courtney took over and you guys got a cushion and didn't look back after that, it seemed.
Yeah, again, we got people in space, we got moving, and we made some difficult shots. I don't think we made a lot of difficult shots in the first half. We started to make some tough shots. Consecutive stops. We started to get more consecutive stops to get our running game going. And then we were just able to talk our way through some of what they were hurting us with in the first half. And I thought the game slowed down for them while we played fast. I know that doesn't sound, I thought the game slowed down and they saw better actions. We got better execution at the offensive end. Combine that with us being able to string together consecutive stops and get our running game going. And all of a sudden you almost have a 30-point quarter.
They seemed to come unraveled in the third quarter, and you and Derek, you almost met there at half court. Like, what was going on? What did you do to get them to unravel so much?
I need you.
You seemed to come unraveled, and they came unraveled in the third quarter. You and Derek around the court, you almost came together. Like, what did you do to them that made them come so unraveled in the third quarter?
I think we stood up to the physicality. I think both teams, both coaches were, really challenging the players. It got physical. TRP is a fantastic defender, and she sets the tone with her physicality for them. The game got a little bit chippy in the third quarter. I thought both teams thrived off of it. We're all competitors. I may not have played in the NBA, but I'm not going to back down to anyone.
Back to Alyssa Thomas's injury for a second. What adjustments have you made to sort of accommodate for that, and how do you think it's affected the way she's playing? Has she made any changes?
With Alyssa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's well documented that Alyssa at some point probably needs shoulder surgery on both shoulders. Obviously, it's changed her game. She's not got the range. She can't do some of the things she once did, but she's modified her game. and become a downhill player. I mean, you hear what we think of her in the arena. I mean, there's an engine revving all the time when she makes great plays for us, and she's got to get herself into the paint for us to be successful. But she's really, really smart, and she's our smartest X's and O's player we have, and she can see things. And so good things happen when we play through her and the ball's in her hands.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.